I spent this last weekend at the Madison Coin Club Coin Show in Madison, Wisconsin. Got a bunch of nice new coins in. I'm going to show you all the coins. We got some raw stuff here, and we have a couple boxes of certified coins as well. Not all of these coins are going to be for sale right away. Some of them will be sent off to CAC. Some of the coins will be graded, the raw coins especially. But I'm just going to show you what we have now. You can check out what's for sale in the link below on our eBay store. Make sure to email for the best price. Yeah, let's get right into it. This is an 1857 braided hair large cent. This is the large date and the last year of the large cent series. It's a slightly better date, an AU53, a nice example. We have an 1850 half cent, an AU53, AU53 brown, another nice type coin. Shout out to Sam if you're watching this video. I appreciate you showing me most of these coins. Most of these came from one dealer. Walked up to the table, who I know, and I really didn't have a whole lot of time to really go around and look at the tables. I did at the end. I had about 45 minutes to just walk around and try to buy some coins, but the entire time I was at the table, I had people coming up either buying or offering coins for sale. A lot of silver was offered for sale. I'm not going to be a super strong buyer on non-numismatic items, but a lot of people were trying to sell silver. A lot of people were looking at coins. A lot of interesting questions. A lot of people who didn't really seem like they were collectors, maybe inherited pieces, and just wanted to find out more about them. So it was kind of cool to talk to everybody. But here's an 1806 half cent, graded extra fine 40, small 6, no stems. The holder's a little scuffed up, but the coin's pretty nice. And I don't get to set up at too many shows. I did just get a table because this was like a childhood coin club coin show that I always used to go to. So I like seeing the people that are there. And it was a fun show. I seriously was able to leave my table maybe one time at the end. I had some people show up and watch the coins as I walked around. It seemed like everybody had a really good show there, so it's cool to see the enthusiasm. Seems like the market's doing really well. Here's a CAC MS63 1901 Barber Dime. Nice coin. Most of my sales at the show were to dealers. I had a bunch of dealers come to the table, and I sold most of my stuff to them. There wasn't really any. I mean, I sold a couple coins retail, which I thought I'd sell almost exclusively retail, but it seems like the wholesale market's pretty active, which is good to see as well. There's a 1942 D Mercury Dime, MS67 full bands. This coin's really nice. It's got a light toning on it, super attractive, and a nice reverse. Pretty happy with the coins that I bought at this coin show. Really nice variety. An 1881 O Morgan and MS64. Slightly better date for the Morgan Dollar series and high grades. Not super expensive. Pretty affordable coin. An 1883 CC and MS65. This coin's really nice. I like this one a lot. Just a really clean cheek. It's not proof-like, but it's pretty reflective as well. Nice coin. Anytime I can find Carson Cities for a good deal, I always got to buy them. 1885 Indian Head Cent and NGC MS65. Here's a good example of a coin in these old holders, both NGC and PCGS. You'll find a lot of red Lincoln cents and Indian Head cents, which have kind of started to oxidize and turn a little bit brown. This coin is a red-brown coin now, in my opinion. Although I think it's maybe technically a little bit nicer than a 65. the color has definitely gone down from its bright red status, which it probably was when it was put in the holder. So always be careful about that, because there's quite a bit of a premium for full red, especially when the coin's labeled as red. And so you may accidentally be buying a red-brown coin when you mean to buy a red coin. This one is really nice. I had to buy it even though I think it's probably leaning red-brown now. The obverse of the coin is just really clean. There's not really any hits or anything. You have a 1909 VDB. Double die obverse. A lot going on this label. Looks like someone had the variety attribution done. Nice coin. $18.92 Carson City in VF20. Again, anytime I can find Carson City Morgans, always got to pick them up. They always seem like they do really well. I'm curious how you guys thought, if you guys went to any shows recently, how you guys thought the show action was. I thought the show was really good all around. It's a smaller show. There's about 70 tables, maybe 40 or 50 dealers. And it just, the traffic wasn't as busy as the show I attended previously, but it seemed like the people that were there spending money were okay with spending money. There's a lot of higher dollar transactions, and that's an interesting trend. I definitely think the transaction, the average order value of coins has gone up, at least for me, which means either bigger players are entering the market or people are just more confident spending money, which is a positive signal to me, at least for coins. An 1877S trade dollar and MS64 CAC. Super original. It's just tough to find trade dollars and uncirculated grades in general, but then without issues is the main problem with these. This one's looks totally fine. You may consider this to be a little bit ugly in terms of toning, but it just shows me that the coin hasn't been messed with. And I definitely appreciate that and pay a premium for that. I had these guys walk up to my table. A retail customer offered them for sale and I bought them. I used to do a lot with modern. I'm going to throw these up on eBay and see if anyone's interested in them. I really do like modern coins. They're kind of boring compared to vintage US coins, but they're kind of fun to deal with. So we'll see how these do. I thought it'd be a good test. Maybe we'll do some more modern coins in the future. Bought an 1889 3-cent nickel in MS66. Just a nice example. I also had some people offer some trades, which is another interesting thing. I had some guy who bought a $20 gold St. Gaudens, better date St. Gaudens 20 in MS66, and he wanted to trade partially with a couple gold $10 liberties. So interesting to see collectors who probably have a pretty low cost basis in some of these gold coins and silver coins trade up for nicer US coins versus just selling for cash and then buying something else. It's just some interesting trends. And I heard a couple other dealers as well who told me that they had quite a few trades done, and trades tend to work out, at least at shows. It's pretty easy if they're trading like bullion for rare coins. Gold's just as good as cash at a coin show, so definitely welcomed, at least at my table. 1864 copper nickel Indian head cent MS64. I picked this one up from a dealer. Just like really nice color. You don't really find Indian head cents toned at all. Pretty mark free. I mean, it's a 64, so some marks are allowed, but nice original piece. And I just love the color on this side. Buy it. Let's see where we left off here. All right, then we got a CAC G round bust Indian head cent in MS60. Nice original surfaces. Definitely got some nice coins here. I'm happy with the quality of the coins. Tried not to force buy anything. I had a couple opportunities to buy a few coins, which maybe were a good price, but I'm really trying to just stick to nice quality coins, and I think that's mostly what I got, so I'm very happy. 1922 peace dollar and MS64 CAC. Nothing too special, just a nice coin at a nice price. 1811 over 10 cap bust half dollar. This one has the period in between the 18 and the 11. CAC G. Nice surfaces on this one. 1926S, semi-key date for the Buffalo Nickel series. Good price on that one, I think. We got a Proof Franklin and Proof 67, 1952 with a CAC sticker. This is another series which I really don't do anything with, but I decided to buy a couple of them just to kind of see how they do on the eBay store. If they do well, buy more. If you guys are interested in stuff like this, let me know. I can definitely look for it. This one's one of my favorite coins for sure from the show. An 1807 Draped bust half dollar in VF25. Lightly toned, very original. Just beautiful. Anytime I find one of these priced, reasonably well, I have to buy it. You just don't really come across too many that look like this, especially not fresh at a coin show. You can find them online at auctions, but I like to buy coins which people have not, seen yet, really. 1834 cap bust quarter. Another example of a nice coin that you just have to buy. Finding a nice cap bust quarter in really any straight grade with a CAC sticker is pretty rare. Late toning on this one, nice coin. 1914D in fine 12, Lincoln wheat cent. Really nice surfaces. I don't think I'm going to send this one to CAC, but it looks, I don't know why this one wouldn't sticker. It's not really worth sending it in terms of what they charge in this event that it doesn't sticker, but this is like one of the better surfaces I've ever seen on, I think, a fine 12 wheat cent. The surfaces are just super clean. But it's nice to have some key dates in inventory, so we're going to keep that one. An 1877S quarter, seated quarter, with a nice toning. Nice coin. Another Proof Franklin. This one's a Proof 68 CAC. 1955. You have an old fatty holder and a 1943 Mercury Diamond 66 full bands. Some light toning on it. $1926S again, VF30 this time. So I had a VF20 and a VF30. Pretty similar in condition. Just a semi-key date to the series. We have a 1921D Walker in fine 15 with a CAC sticker. Pretty much a perfect circulated Walker. Scratch there is on the holder, not the coin. But yeah, just a super premium Walker. We have a MS65 1897 Liberty V nickel. This was a pretty small show relative to like the big shows, any of the big national shows. So it's pretty happy with the amount of stuff I could buy and sell. I did a good amount of business at this show, both on the buy and the sell side. So sold some stuff that I wanted to get rid of, bought all this new stuff. Really a very productive show. Previously, I've set up at this show and other local shows, and they've just kind of, they're just kind of slow. It's probably my fault for what I have in the case, but this one was definitely an exception. And stuff was, like I said a few times, I could not leave my table. I had to have the guy next to me, thank you, Matt, watch my table just to go to the bathroom, a couple times. And that's the only time I really left, other than at the very end when I had someone come and watch my table for about an hour. And I got my lunch at some point. I didn't even have time to eat my lunch. I had people coming up and talking to me while I was trying to eat. It was pretty fun. 1926 Sesquicentennial, an MS-63. I definitely will be doing that show again just because, like I said, I have some history with the show. But I'll be walking around a lot of the other shows. If you guys are in the Wisconsin, Illinois area and you have coins for sale and you're attending any of these shows, make sure to reach out to me. I'd be happy to meet up and see what we can do. We're always buying nice U.S. coins and U.S. coin collections, raw or certified. A Proof 1899, Proof 64 Cameo Barber quarter with the CAC sticker. It's too bad that the holders get kind of scuffed up. I noticed that at coin shows. It's like something about the cases or something that people put their coins in, I don't know, or just the way they handle them. It seems like anytime I buy a coin at a coin show, it's like just all scratched up. The holders are all scuffed up. 1923 MS-66 piece dollar with a CAC sticker. Tougher to find 23 piece dollars with CAC stickers in the higher grades. And a nice spread to a 67, though that coin's not a 67. This actually might be one of my favorite coins from the show. A Draped bust dime, 1805, 4 berries. Let's take a look at this one up close. And really, it looks problem-free for a Draped bust dime. Like, technically, it's got a little bit of just scratching and a few marks on there that are, not technically perfect surfaces, but try to find a Draped bust dime without a cleaning. It's going to be a struggle. So really nice surfaces. Unfortunately, the holder is kind of beat up like I was talking about. This one's got a ton of chips, so someone probably rubber banded this together with a bunch of other PCGS coins and it probably chipped off. That tends to happen. And I don't really mind when holders are chipped like this. I don't know what you guys think about that, but it just kind of, it throws it off, and now I have to mark that as something, when I sell the coin, and somebody may have an issue with it, and then they have to spend $25 or whatever to get it reholdered. So unfortunate, but I guess it's what happens. The coin's still really nice. 1853 seated dime with arrows, MS-64. A light toning on this coin. And the last of the certified coins, we have a 1915 Barber dime, an MS-63 CAC. Just original surfaces, not super expensive, and a nice type coin. So that's the end of the certified coins. We also got some raw coins, and I've been trying to buy more raw coins. These coins will be sent off to NGC or PCGS, and we'll probably be doing an unboxing as I get them back, or you'll see them at some point, either for sale or in a video. This 1947D Walker. I'm trying to buy coins of all calibers too. At one point I was looking for just higher end US coins, like $1,000 plus, but I'm noticing that there's almost more collectors. Obviously there's more collectors at the lower price points, but it seems like it's significantly higher number of collectors at the lower price point. So I'm trying to stock more coins. If you're someone who collects nice US coins like 50 to 1,000, I'm trying to stock more coins for you, so you'll see more cool stuff coming in that price range. A 1945S Walker, really clean surfaces. There's just like a little light scratch in the field over there, and the strike's a little weak, but that's pretty common for a 45S. Really, it's a nice coin. I like buying raw coins at shows too, because I don't know, maybe I'm a gambling addict, but sending them off to get graded is a lot of fun. It's too bad that the turnaround times are as long as they are. Otherwise, I'd be buying tons of raw coins. But 1915 Buffalo nickel with some nice toning. The other thing with raw coins when you're buying at shows is, like, certified coins are basically commodity coins, and they trade almost as commodities, like an active bid-sell market. And you basically buy a bid or a round bid, and you can basically sell a bid and a round bid pretty consistently for rare coins. The gray sheet bid, that is, if you're not familiar, gray sheet's like the premier price guide for rare coin dealers, at least. And so it's basically a pretty dependable trading point where almost any coin is going to kind of sell around that level wholesale. But with raw coins, you're grading the coins sort of on your own. It's a lot more subjective. And so if you have a better grading eye, you can sometimes pick out nicer coins and make a little bit extra spread, although it does take more time and there is a grading fee in there. And so I'm trying to focus more on that and refine my grading eye. I really like buying nice walkers anytime they're like kind of satiny like this one is. 1945 P. And I have another really nice walker I got at the show. I actually need to find where I put that and show you guys. We'll do that at the end. And we have a 1917P Mercury dime. The only problem with buying raw coins at shows is the lighting at shows kind of is usually pretty bad. Even though dealers will have lamps at their tables, you have like a ton of light coming in from a bunch of different sources. And so coins tend to look a little bit nicer at shows than they actually are. And that can cause some issues when you're grading, especially raw coins. So if you're ever buying coins at shows, you want to really be careful, especially when buying raw coins, because when you have like three or four lamps at a dealer's table and you have really bright overhead lights, coins just really seem to shine. And the raw coins especially can really trick you. I tend to overgrade coins when I buy them at shows, and then I get back and I notice that they're not as nice as I thought. Here's a 1913 D Buffalo nickel, type 1. And we got two more raw coins here, and then I'm going to try to find that other walker, and I'll clip that in here. I did get a couple other coins, I think, now that I think about it. None of too much importance. You'll probably see them at some point in another grading video. 1944 P Walker. A lot of nice walkers out of this dealer's case. And I wish I would have been able to look at the other coins. I think I'm going to try to walk more shows. Maybe I should get there earlier. That would probably help too. But I really didn't get to see even half the room, which was kind of unfortunate. But, I'll count my blessings. The show was really busy. And I got some nice coins like this one. This is a Draped bust dollar raw. You just don't find them raw. And when you do find them raw, they always have issues. I think this one will straight grade. It's technically been cleaned, I think. Yeah, it's got some hairline, so it's been cleaned, but sometimes they let these through. It's got some like damage too there up in the head, so they may discount it for that. But overall, this is a really nice coin. 1798 Draped bust dollar with a light toning on it. I honestly miss those marks on the head there. It might come back damaged because of those, but even if it does come back damaged, the coin is still very nice. Yeah. And I just love buying coins like this. There's something about holding like a raw Draped bust dollar. Here, we'll look at the edge too, because you don't usually get to see the edge even if it's in a holder. Let's see what it says. That's I've never actually like read the edge reading of a. So $1, or I'm not sure what that says. There's a lot of weird marks going on these things. Something cents, I wasn't say like 100 cents or something. It must say that, yeah. So I don't know, that says 100, they can't spell very well. That's funny. I don't know, if you guys know what the edge reading says on these, let me know in the comments. But it's really cool to hold like an old Draped bust dollar like this, raw. And you can actually read the edge reading, and obviously people were messing around with these over 200 years ago. You know, they'd have them in their pockets or wherever, and they're spending them just like, you know, a dollar bill today, although back then this would have probably accounted for significantly more than $1 in spending power. You know, I wonder what this coin bought back in the day and what it transacted for. Just a cool piece. And then as promised, here's that other walker that I got at the show. This one's like, the obverse is like semi-proof like. I'm not sure if it's going to show too well on the camera, but it's got like these die polish lines in the field there. It's not a proof like coin, but proof like walkers and even semi-proof like walkers are very rare. I think a couple proof like walkers do exist. This is obviously, like I said, not one of them, but this coin is probably one of the nicer walkers I've seen, at least raw. You can just see the die polish lines in the right field and the left field over here too. It almost looks like a cleaning, but those are from the mint. And just a really nice coin. And the reverse, nothing too special, just a nice reverse. So we'll see what this one grades. I'm hopeful that it'll get a fairly high grade, and I'd be surprised if it doesn't. So yeah, we'll see. You really never know. But that's pretty much the entirety of the coins we purchased at the show. I hope you enjoyed the video and a little bit of the commentary about the show. If you were at the show, let me know in the comments. Let me know how it went for you. I was talking to a couple of the dealers, like I said, and almost all of them were super happy with the show. So it was a great show from the Madison Coin Club. I appreciate it. Thanks for having us out, and thanks for watching to the end of the video. So thanks so much. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you made it this far. We got a lot of videos coming up, and I got some cool ones planned. So until then, have a good rest of your day. Thanks again.